I did not simply communicate to them, I prayed to them. Everything that you have, your entire story that you have lived, the life that you have lived, is actually a leverage. Even the struggles I had, I have been bullied during school. It stops being a trauma and starts being an advantage. If my desire involves only me, then it's too small, even for God to find it exciting. My wife, she said, before we met, I used to second guess every single word he does. But now I am peaceful and I'm getting the job done. And I feel very proud of myself. Rich people don't have leverage. People who know how to manage money of those rich people, that's what leverage is, right?
Today we have my beautiful mentor who has been guiding me in various ways, practically heal something that he have never known that has been in my life is not to be able to have a mentor in a male version. It's always been an opportunities world out there, and 84-day challenge with him have healed that for me. So today we are going to talk about the art of leverage in the theme of collaboration. What is leverage? I've never heard this word until I met him. We're going to explore everything about leverage and the foundation of it. The purpose of this is to reach for a person to support you in the way that you've always been wanting. We have Prathamesh Krisang with us, and he wears many versions of hats. I'm just going to let him introduce himself. Prathamesh, over to you.
Thank you, Prema. You're very kind in introducing me. So, about me, just a few things. It's been a life of 34, 35 years now, overall, for me. Working and building a business, it's been about 15 to 18 years. I started my career as a freelance graphic designer. Then I got into film production. I made a bunch of movies, won a bunch of awards, and then eventually got into marketing and helped a few brands go from zero to $1 million by using my skills in storytelling and basically building businesses. And that got into kind of my passion for helping a lot of creators. I ended up helping a bunch of creators go from zero to 100,000 followers, help them build a business. And I realized this is one area where I really love helping people. And that's the direction in which I decided to go. And I launched Magnetic Nation, which is a community of creators who create stuff from deep within their soul. And the way we teach, help out people to discover themselves is in a way how our rishis used to discover themselves and bring out the knowledge to the world. And that's who I am. And these are a few hats that I wear. Apart from that, there are many, but I think this is relevant right now, as of now.
Beautiful. What does leverage means to you?
So let's get into how I discovered this small thing. So I was reading this tweet by Naval Ravikant. I was struggling with figuring out what's my value in this world because I had developed a bunch of skills like storytelling and filmmaking and design, but I was not able to monetize them successfully. I was not able to attract the right people. And one fine day, Naval Ravikant publishes this tweet thread called as How to Get Rich Without Getting Lucky. And I read it. And one of the most central theme of this tweet thread was life is a game of leverage. I'm not kind of quoting him, but it's just I'm rewording my understanding. And that is the first time that word really caught my attention. And I just started realizing that everything that you have to offer to the world is a leverage. Everything that you have, your entire story that you have lived, the life that you have lived is actually a leverage. And by leverage, what I mean is simply the value that I have to offer to the world, right? That is something as simple as that. And this is very important when it comes to collaboration with people, because people will collaborate with you only when you have something of value to add to others. If you don't have anything of value, then there is no reason for someone to come get in touch with you, talk to you, invest their energy in you, and figure out how you can work with them. For me, I have been so lucky since then that almost every single month I get an opportunity for being a partner in a business or collaborating on a project, getting on a podcast, or doing something like that. And the only reason for that was very simple. I understood my leverage and I was able to communicate my leverage to the world. That's all. And it started doing all the magic that I have. For example, even the struggles I had. I come from a village in India. If I was not a creator, that would have been my disadvantage. But since I'm a creator, it has become a leverage. I have empathy towards how it feels like to be a village boy, having no exposure to the city life. I have been a graphic designer, I have been a filmmaker. These are the skills that I have that become my leverage. I have been kind of bullied during school, so that becomes my leverage. It no more becomes any trauma that you had in your life. It stops being a trauma and starts being an advantage. That's the beauty of leverage. And this especially works when you are the kind of person who is going to create value in the world or collaborate with other people. It becomes a big advantage. So, the first thing you need to do in order to find your leverage is to rethink your story, your life story. Like, what has your life story been, and how do you look at your life story? Is it as a hero, as a victim? A victim story is has zero leverage. It is always like, oh, I have struggled so much, such a bad life, and I have been, I come from a poor family, poor circumstances. I don't have a network. I did not have a network either, but now I do. The skill of developing networks has become a leverage for me. I look at my story as a hero story. I mean, all your stories in life are not truth, they are interpretations of what happened. How you interpret that story makes it a leverage or makes it anti-leverage, or I don't know what is the opposite of leverage, but it's just something that will not help you ever in life. So you better rewrite your story as the first step if you want to know your leverage. Yeah, that's what leverage is.
That's beautiful. Just by understanding our leverage, we get to rewrite our story. And from the way we write our story, we heal our trauma. How simple is that? When you mention networking, you also say for that to happen, communication has to be the foundation. Can you
Yes.
elaborate more about that?
I have been able to collaborate with people who are way above my league. Way above, as in, I can't even start. When I made my first movie, which is One Last Question, Adil Hussain, who is one of the greatest actors of this country, he was the father of Pai Patel in the movie Life of Pi. He agreed to work on my film. My Guru Pashupati. He, he has no reason to give me so much time, do so many podcasts with me, get on so many calls with me to teach me and tell me where am I lacking, where should I improve. He has no reason to do that, but he still invests so much time and energy into developing me, helping me improve myself. And I have no idea, like, why would someone do it unless I realized all of that happened because of two things. First is communication, and the other is my awareness of my leverage. Okay. So when it comes to interpersonal communication, right, or networking, when you are trying to get mentors in your network and you're trying to get collaborators in your network, what is the best way I approach people? What is the frame or the perspective from which I'm approaching them? I simply keep one question in my mind, which is, how can I help you? It's as simple as that. When I have this question constantly in my mind, which is, how can I help you? Then the kind of approach I have, the kind of questions I ask the other person, the things that I'm looking for is very different. A lot of folks who come to me in the name of let's get to know each other is, what can I get from you? That is the question they have in their mind. And unfortunately, everybody smells it like, I'm not so stupid or nobody is so stupid. So every time I go to anyone, whether it is Guruji or Adilda or Sudhir Sharma, he is again one of my best gurus and mentors. He is one of the best designers in the country. And he's also like way above my league. He has no reason to get in, give me any time, but he has been very gracious to give me time. I have been so grateful to have so many amazing gurus in my life. And the only reason I got that is because whenever I went to them, I went with just one simple approach, which is, how can I help you, not how can I get help. Because when you're in the place of how can I help you, you are in a place of higher leverage and you are in the place where you are able to give. And don't think that just because you're not accomplished as the other person, you have nothing to offer. No, you have a lot of skills to offer. You have your time to offer. You have your energy to offer. You have your enthusiasm to offer. Even a listening ear. There's so many people who have accomplished in life, but nobody wants to listen to the lessons they have. And trust me, if someone has really accomplished something in life, one of the best things you can do to them is be their students and be a very good student to them. That itself makes them feel so awesome and they want to help you and they want to teach you and make you better. And that is what I have always done, which is when I am communicating with people. So we have Rajan in our community, and he has this very beautiful way of explaining what is communication. He says communication is a prayer. I look at communication as prayer. When I am talking with Guruji or Sudhir or uh, anyone like Shukracharya Rabba, he is one of the greatest. He passed away, unfortunately. He's one of the greatest theater artists in the country who was awarded by a president. And he gave me so much time to mentor me and help me understand how storytelling works. He used to live in a forest. He was a legend. And all of them, I think, chose to help me and teach me because I did not simply communicate to them, I prayed to them. Like that was the emotion I had in my heart when I was talking to them, which is I'm praying to them. And that helped me gain a lot of wisdom. And there's also a lot of energetic transfer that happens. I strongly believe this, that when you're talking to your mentors and your collaborators, and when you are very humble, and when you don't put yourself, on a pedestal while talking to them, there is some invisible transfer of wisdom and energy that happens that makes you a better person. And that is how I look at it. Being humble is a leverage. It is one of the greatest leverage. Guruji says that whenever you are, especially when you are in front of God, you need to have this emotion in your heart which says you are the highest of the high, I am the lowest of the low. Because the law of nature is all the energy flows from the highest point to the lowest point. If you want to be the receiver of that energy, be the lowest of the low, be in that place, that you are in this place of always gaining a lot of things, and that becomes a leverage. These things are very counterintuitive. They don't make a lot of sense until you really practice it and see it for yourself. So that's a secret.
Wow, that's a huge secret to understand, to be leveraged, that we are the leverage no matter who we are. Because when I ask people, what is your leverage? And they come and tell me about their certificate, their qualification, everyone believes that they need to be qualified in certain way through
Yeah.
education, and call it leverage, because everyone out there who's successful, they always have a successful story. When you say communication is a divine process, as Rajan has shared, when we go to God, in many culture, in many religion, we just ask God, I just want this, I want that. We don't collaborate with God. So how do you communicate in this way, whether it's God, mentors, or anyone out there, how we can embody this to be that humble person?
Yeah, it's for me, it's quite simple. If my desire involves only me, then it's too small, even for God to find it exciting, right? Imagine God who has created this entire universe, and you're going there and praying and asking for just something for yourself. It's crazy to think that someone like that would listen to you. Like, I don't even think that your words are falling on his ears. I don't think that's happening. I mean, a better hack is to have such a huge vision that these big guys notice, including God. Like God is a big guy, right? Or big woman, Devi, right? Or even people out there. If you want to collaborate with Narendra Modi, do you think you can go there and ask for a job? Do you think that is something that Narendra Modi will be excited about? You have to go to him and say, hey, I have a plan that can give jobs to 1 million people. Then he'll be like, okay, let's talk. So the first thing is very simple. When you go to anyone, whether it is a collaborator, a mentor, a customer, I think even customers collaborate with you. You have to figure out how this collaboration is benefiting not just both of you, but a broader ecosystem. If you're not thinking of that, then you don't have enough leverage. By the way, I'll tell you one thing. Having a huge vision is a big leverage. Okay? Because I'll tell you why. A person with a huge vision like Mukesh Ambani and me, both of us have the same 24 hours. You might think that his money is a leverage, but his money is not a leverage. It's a big burden if you don't have a vision to contain that money. The only difference between us is our vision. Mukesh Ambani thinks of 140 people, which is 1.4 billion people, and how he can give internet access to every single person in this country and probably on this planet. Who knows how big he is thinking? We don't know. Does it mean that he has more than 24 hours in his day to fulfill that vision? No, it's not. But having that vision, having that level of clarity and the scale of the vision all of a sudden excites more people. A vision is like a container for people. The bigger your vision, the more people you can contain in it. If your vision is to just do something that is enough for yourself, then the number of people who will collaborate with you to help you will be too less. For example, through Magnetic Nation, I want to spread the ideas of Bharat. I want to spread the ideas that our rishis gave us and make it available for today's people. I want modern rishis of today to learn how to access this knowledge, which is not on Google, which is not on ChatGPT, but which is deep inside yourself, which is already there. I want to show how to access that and how to bring it out to people and create a real impact. Our rishis were content creators fundamentally. When I say content creation, I use the term content creation because that's modern term for it. But what our rishis did, what is left of them today, is the content they created. When Patanjali Yoga Sutra wrote something, it was content. Ved Vyas wrote content. Charak wrote content. Bharat Muni, who wrote Natya Shastra, it was content, right? My dream is to bring back that culture which creates such extraordinary knowledge and spreads it for the benefit of humanity while building a sustainable business around it, because that's the model that works today. That's my vision, that's my dream. And when I started talking about this, I started attracting so many amazing people in my life. Guruji got excited with this and he said, let's do it. This is a vision really worth chasing. And I'm going to talk more and more about this. And I'm sure more and more people will want to be a part of this. There's no doubt. The team that I have only 4 people in my team: Abhishek, Priya, Somnath, and Namrata. But you know, the level of dedication they have towards the vision that we have, towards the mission we have, even a team of like 40 people won't be able to achieve the kind of output they achieve. All because vision, and vision is that leverage. I think that is the first leverage you have. Not the first, the second. The first leverage is your story, which is the past. Like, is it heroic past or is it a victim past? If you have a heroic past, which is an interpretation of your own story, that's a leverage. The next leverage is the future, which is your vision. Is it a heroic vision? My vision is to have this huge, huge community of extraordinary creators who are transforming people just through their words, who just speak and people listen to them and something deep inside them gets triggered and they transform themselves. Look at you, right? I mean, you were, when we met in the beginning, you were not sure what to create, what to do. And look at you now. Nobody can stop you now. It's like you have become unstoppable. You're just creating like crazy, and you're just building up on this. You're collaborating with people. So this is what I want. Is like I want people like you who are creating and really creating from a place of creating an impact and also making money while doing it. That is the kind of stuff I want to do, and that's my vision. What's your vision? How big is it? How many people can it contain? My vision can contain 1 million people, easy. Right? So it doesn't matter right now what the reality is, but at least I have the vessel for it to contain them. That's how you pray, right? Like by having that such a big vision that the gods and the biggies of the world get so excited that they want to collaborate with you.
Yeah, the vision, definitely. That has been my learning in this whole world of leverage. Your vision will get people so excited that they want to speak to you. I learned that from you. I went out and tried. I only had vision. I don't have any subscribers. I don't have anything to offer to the people who are coming and spending their hour with me. I have nothing. All I can do is share your vision, your thought in my page. I would like to learn from you. That has been a game changing in my whole life. Just like how you thought, have a purpose, take action, then the knowledge will come. How can we embody this? Not only through words, but also in our silence. Because in the woman's world, coming out and speaking about their vision to people out there, many of us don't really know where to start. Or even if we want to start, we just freeze in front of this big people that we want to approach. Not everyone is good with words in terms of communication. Have you embraced any other kind of communication that still relate to the other person who's willing to collaborate with you?
Yeah. So I'll tell you, for women especially, inviting people to collaborate is much easier. You are blessed not just with the software, but with the hardware as well, which means you are blessed with so much empathy and so much understanding about the world and sensitivity about the world that it's much easier. Uh, Plus, you just have to ask. I mean, I'm so surprised. Unfortunately, nowadays a lot of women are afraid to ask. But when they actually start doing that, when they actually start asking in the right way, they do get a yes. They do get a response from the world. So the first thing, your question was, how do I embody this beyond just the words? How do I embody the ability to invite people just from the words? And how do I communicate my leverage to the world? The first thing is, if you're coming from a place of deep care about a problem, then people will not say no. All you have to do is be able to communicate what the issue is, be able to communicate why this is important right now. You don't need to justify. That is another problem, that women have. If they want something, they try to justify why they want it. You don't need that. All you have to do is simply have Karuna Ras. So Karuna Ras is by the way, this is just for your audience who don't know rasa as a concept in the first place. So our rishis, especially Bharat Muni, wrote this book called as Natya Shastra, in which he explains about the 9 spiritual emotions or the rasas. They are not emotions basically, they are the feelings in your body. And there are nine of them. And one of them is Karuna Ras. Karuna Ras is compassion or empathy. And when you come from that place while asking or inviting people, then it becomes much easier for you to communicate whatever you want.
So if you have compassion in your body, in your soul, and it sinks out in every word of yours, that is how you can communicate through your feeling, and people get
Yes.
it. And that's how exactly we can embody this. In your observation, in
Mm.
women's world, as a man who have lived with many relationships out there, professionally, personally, what is stopping them from understanding their own leverage?
I think the biggest problem is you have been brainwashed to not stay in touch with your feelings. I have seen so many men, women, everyone constantly struggle with self doubt, constantly feeling, who am I to say this? Who am I to speak about this? Who am I to have such a big vision, right? Why is that happening? Because we were only taught how to use our brain to make decisions and how to ignore our feelings. So we have been actively trained to ignore our feelings, apply our brain, apply our thoughts, and only make decisions by using our thoughts and call it rationality, call it logic. And you know what happens when you make decisions like that? It is like using a dial up internet connection when you have access to a broadband high speed internet. Okay, that is how it works when you use your brain for too many of these decisions. So the first thing is, like I said, have a heroic story. Second is have a heroic vision. And the third is start sharing this vision with the world through your content by talking with people. Tell them this is what I care about, this is what I want to achieve, and be very honest. Like, say that I don't know how I'm going to do this. Just the way I am saying that I don't know how I am going to create the modern rishis, inspire the modern rishis to share their wisdom with the world. I don't know, but that's what I'm doing right now. And things are happening. You know, the kind of people in our community, they're literally rishis, right? Who are coming there and sharing the kind of transformational stuff. Most people come and just feel that just looking at others, they feel I need to start creating because this is the right place. This is my home. This is what I was waiting for all my life. That is what people feel inside our community. So I think the self-doubt, overthinking, depending too much on your thought to make decisions, and not allowing your feelings to make the decision. And when I say feelings, people think that is irrational. People think that is emotions, but they are not those. Like, you know what I'm talking about. You have been through these meditations for the Navrasa, and you understand what these feelings feel like and how they help you make decisions. The reason you were able to stick with this decision for such a long time because you did not take this as just an intellectual, rational decision. You went deep, down inside your subconscious, inside your soul, saw what it really wanted. And then it came out that you want to teach people how to collaborate. You want to teach women how to collaborate and build a village around them so that they can again find the success and the support that they used to have back in the day before the wave of all these different movements came and isolated women from everybody else. They felt that they were supposed to work and make money to show their value in the world. That is again this is again a problem. Women think that money is the only leverage, but trust me, money is not at all a leverage. Knowing how to use the money is leverage. Why do you think so many hedge fund managers make so much money? Is it because they have money? No, it's because they know how to use the money. Rich people don't have leverage. People who know how to manage money of those rich people, that's what leverage is, right? People also think knowledge is leverage. No, knowledge is not leverage. You get the knowledge after taking action. Having energy to take action is a leverage. When you have the energy to take action, you gain knowledge naturally. When you have energy to communicate with other people who are experts, who have the knowledge, you gain your leverage, right? I mean, your leverage is not the only leverage you're going to have. You're going to have the leverage of everybody in your tribe. Today, if I want something, for example, one of the things I'm trying to figure out is how can we develop a platform so that people in our community will collaborate with each other. I'm planning of asking this in our group uh, to see if someone could help me out. And I'm sure someone will come up and say, hey, let's do this. That's a leverage. I don't have a skill, but I have people who have the skill. And they will come up and they will help me build something interesting and valuable. So leverage is not in the things that you think they are. Your story has leverage. The energy you have is leverage. The vision you have has leverage. The people you know have leverage, right? That is where your leverage is. So that is how, you should approach. That is like everybody who feels feels, a fear of going out there and sharing your leverage, know that your leverage lies in your vision and communicating that with the world. That's how you start.
But women have been told that you're too much, you're too
Yeah.
emotional, you're irrational. She has been, even growing from the womb, she has been listening to this. If you want to tell us to break this illusion, how
Yes.
can we do that?
First of all, let's see what is blocking your feelings. Okay? Just yesterday, I was talking with my wife, and she all of a sudden, it's been 2.5 years we have been married. Okay, and all of a sudden she said, "Hey, do you know how much I have changed?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like she said, like, you know, before we met, I used to second guess every single word I was saying. I was not sure what I was saying. I was doubting, and now I just say what I want to say. And I say it in a way that gets my job done. Before, she used to suppress, and it would, she would just blast out everything. Then she used to then feel regret about it. Oh, why did I say that? Why did I say this? But now she was like, I am peaceful, but I know what I'm doing, and I am communicating it, and I'm getting the job done. And the way I feel when I do all of this is very proud of myself. It's all because, like we have been I've been talking to her and trying to figure out, okay, how to teach her to do this. And I've been allowing her to do that, which is just express yourself, just say what you're feeling because there is no judgment here with me. And that helped. Right. So the first thing you need to do as a woman is find someone who you can talk to, who you can express your feelings with without any judgment. That's important. That's very important. But it has to come from a place of peacefulness. Even if you're angry, can you have a base of a peaceful, base and then be angry on top of it? If you just be angry without being peaceful, then that's rage. That's out of control. Yeah, so I'll first tell you how rishis downloaded knowledge. Okay, so you go through 4 steps: para, pashyanti, madhyama, and vaikhari. These are the 4 stages through which the rishi will always communicate. That is also a framework for authentic expression. So the first stage is para. Para means feeling. Whenever you get knowledge, they come to you in terms of sensations in your body. You have to learn how to sense them. When I say feelings, people think it is emotions, but emotions are simply labels to the feelings on your body. For example, when I am angry, there are certain sensations in my body. Like in my case, my ear gets like heated up, my eyes heat up, the energy is rising up to my head. That is what angry feels like in terms of physical sensations on my body. When I am sad, there is a pit, the pit of my throat is feeling choked. My chest feels heavy. That's the physical sensation of sadness for me. Now, what emotions are is the label to these sensations in my body. What feelings are the actual sensations without the label. So when I say para, what happens is you notice the physical sensations in your body. Now, what for sure you will realize that it's either a pleasant sensation or an unpleasant sensation. That understanding we get. But beyond that, you should avoid adding any meaning to it. Why is this important? Because your body has an intelligence. It tells you if a decision is right or wrong before your brain can even register it. If something is happening and you need to make a decision, the body will immediately make a pleasant sensation if it has to say yes, or it will make an unpleasant sensation if it has to say no. But then your brain hijacks it and says and starts putting logic to it, right? It's like, but I should not judge so hard. I should not do this. I should not do that. And then you fuck up yourself, and then you get into the same problem again and again because you were trained and brainwashed to ignore your sensations, which is the feelings in your body. Okay. So the first thing is Rishi used to get these sensations, not just receive. All humans do that. We are antennas for information. All of us get that. It is just we need to clean up so that we can start receiving again. Then there is Pashyanti. Pashyanti is you see visuals. There are flashes in your mind, visual flashes. I'm sure all of us have, because if you can dream and if you can see visuals in your dream, then you are really good at Pashyanti. If you have dreamt even once in life, that means you can do Pashyanti. These feelings, these sensations translate into certain visuals in your mind. They flash in front of you. This visual gives more details about what this feeling is about. And then from Pashyanti, you go to Madhyama, which means now I need to bring language. This is where language comes. People think in language, but actually thinking happens way before that. There are 2 steps before the language comes in. So Madhyama is articulating what you felt and saw. That way, you keep everything undisturbed. So usually what happens is because your mind is hijacked by these labels of emotions, which is sad, angry, and stuff. When you break up, you think this is sadness and this is tragedy. And then you start doing things that the Bollywood movies have told you that you should be doing after breaking up. Vaikhari never come. Madhyama is articulation, Vaikhari is expression of whatever you articulated. Those never come because like you have already been saying what you should be doing. You have been given an SOP of what you should do after breakup. That is the problem. But when you stop, when you just delete these labels of emotions and say, okay, this is the feeling sensation I have. I have my heart is sinking, my throat is choked. That's what's happening. No need to add more meaning to it. It's okay. You have broken up. It's not a big deal. Now it's madhyama. Articulate. Articulate why this feeling is coming to you. What is the reason behind this feeling? What exactly is creating that feeling? What is that visual that came to your mind when you got that feeling? You have to be sensitive for this. You have to learn. This is training. You have to unlearn what society has taught you, and then start noticing this. What did my visual come when I felt this heavy sensation as soon as I broke up? And that is whatever that comes, articulate that in words. Write it down on paper if you need to do that, right? Be very good at articulating that feeling and visual, and then express it. Express it with someone you trust. When you learn this, there comes a point where the transition from para to Parshantu to Madhyama to Vaikhari is like a snap. It's a microsecond. Right now, when I'm speaking to you, whenever I am doing my sessions or whenever I'm coaching someone, I'm constantly being in touch with the sensations of my body, and I'm kind of feeling, okay, what feels right to speak out in this moment? And then I'm speaking it out. And there are so many times that even I am surprised by what I'm talking because I have no idea what I'm going to talk in any given moment. Because I'm constantly trying to stay in touch with the feeling and then express that feeling to you. And that feeling is kind of bringing back a feedback to me. Okay, this sounds good. This sounds nice. I need to go deeper into this. I need to speak more about this because it's giving a nice, pleasant sensation to my body. It's making me feel stronger. Now, these feelings will either make you feel strong or weak. And all you have to do is keep doing things that make you stronger and avoid things that make you weaker. And that's how you become very, very good at communicating and staying in touch with your feelings and start speaking. This is how you download the wisdom. When all these gurus and rishis and people who are into the spirituality world, everyone says, right, I got a download. It's nothing but this. This is the process broken down. Unfortunately, you have never been taught to practice it, apply it. In fact, you have been taught the opposite, which is through your feelings. That's not logical. Be rational. Use your logic. Doesn't work for creator or for someone who wants to collaborate.
So, ladies, don't be afraid of your feelings. Feel it and put it in a safe space in the way that has been explained. That is a very beautiful arc altogether that has been given to us by the rishis back then. How do we bring in the process of collaboration with another person, knowing what we have known so far and this new knowledge? Where can someone begin? And how they can do it and why they should do it in this way. Can you explain that, Goldie?
Okay, let's do it. So if someone wants to start collaborating with other people, if they're feeling isolated and they want people around them who take care of them and really love them and also nourish them, then the first thing you need to do is first be worthy of it. How do you be worthy of it? You don't have to do anything for it. The first thing you need to do is have a story that is not a victim story. Everything that has happened in your life so far in the past can be interpreted as a victim story or as a hero story. It's your choice how you interpret that. Like I said, everything is a label that the society has given you. So you have control over removing those shitty labels, rewrite that story, and make it a heroic story. Every story is just an interpretation. That interpretation is the truth. It's your truth. So first, clean up your past. If you have a shitty past, you will have a shitty future. There is no doubt about it. Because your shitty past, what is the future? The future is like Guruji says this. Your future is like Chat GPT of the past. It auto generates everything based on whatever your past is, because that's the prompt. The past is the prompt. The future is the generation, right? So clean up your prompt first, because so if you want good generation of future, then you need to have a cleaner and a better prompt. Who are you acting as? Who are you now, right? So first is past. In the present, you have to decide who are you, because in a collaboration, if you're not clear about who you are, then how would people know how to deal with you? Right now, I'm a teacher. I am an acharya. I'm someone who teaches and coaches. Until I did not accept this identity, it was very difficult for me to communicate myself. It took me some time to, accept this identity about myself as being a coach or a guru, or not a guru yet, acharya or teacher. You know, the reason I had this problem because I had a big problem with my own teachers in the past, and I did not like the way they taught, and that's why I felt I don't want to be like this. So that got me that became an obstacle for me. But then when I cleaned up my present and I said, this is who I am, and that is how I'm going to add value to the world as a teacher, then everything opened up. So that make a decision, take a stand, you know. So you need two ras, Veer Ras and Raudra's Ras. Basically, you need to know Veer Ras is knowing what to say yes to. Veer Ras is courage, having the courage to say yes to certain things in life. Then Raudra's Ras is fury or uh, ferocity, and you need ferocity to decide what to say no to. So know we are going to say yes to, know what you're going to say no to. So clean up your present by doing this, which is decide what you're going to say yes to and no to. Very simple. And then have a beautiful vision, a beautiful future. How do you create that vision? How do you create that future? The first question you should ask yourself is, what do I care about and who do I care about? So Prema cares about women and an ecosystem around women, building that village around women and children so that women and children are nurtured and nourished, and they don't have to prove their value just in terms of money because they have value way beyond that. That is what Prema is here for. That is what she believes. That is the kind of future she wants to create for the world. That's a sexy vision. It's an amazing vision, and people will like to be a part of this. So this sexy future, this sexy vision is what you need to create by asking these two questions. Who do I care about and what do I care about? And the next thing is start inviting people to collaborate. How do you invite? You invite like it's a prayer. Now, when you look at prayers in our culture, or I guess any culture, there is a certain format of praying, and it's very simple. The first thing when you go to a deity and you pray to them, you appreciate the qualities they have. You tell the deity, oh, the Lord of the world, the one who created this and the one who created that, like it's stuti. It's called as stuti. For every god, there is a stuti or a stotram. uh, Lalita Sahasranam is like 1000 names of goddess Lalita Tripura Sundari, and they are all Stuti, which is they are all appreciation of this goddess. So when you are inviting people, right, when you're going and talking to them, this is how I invite people. Whenever I talk to them for the first time, I say, this is what I love about you. And it is very authentic. It is very genuine. I tell them, okay, you have done this. This is amazing. This caught my attention. I love this. And because it is genuine and because it is also something they also know to be true, they like it. This is not buttering people. This is truly appreciating them. Why do you do that? When people come to you and they're trying to collaborate with you, or when you are inviting people for collaboration, there is something in their brain that is constantly asking question, is this a threat or a friend? Threat or a friend, a threat or a friend? That's a natural tendency of a human being. And you want to first pass through that before you get into invitation of collaborating. So how do you tell them that you are a friend and not a threat? By telling them all the good qualities which are genuinely good about them. And then you tell them what you want. Not just tell them what you want, but first tell them this is what you want to do, which is my vision is to build an ecosystem for women that nourishes them, that nurtures them, right? Why do you want to do that? What's the problem you're solving? The world is not designed for them, and they are whatever you have articulated, right? And then you tell them, I would like your help in this area. Like, be specific in your invitation. Like, I would like to invite you for a podcast on leverage. You were very specific in what you wanted from me. And I was like, done. Did I say any other word? It's like, okay, done, right? Because you have solved so many other questions for me by making it easy for me to tell you just yes or no. All I have to do is decide yes or no. That's all. And it's very difficult for people to say no when you appreciate them, you have a good cause, you have a good vision, you know what you're talking about, and you know what exactly you want from me. When everything is clear, even if I say no, I'll be genuinely not be able to do it for some reason. It's not because I'm not interested. So this is how you invite. This is like the whole playbook of invitation. But first, clean up your past, present, future, and then start inviting people.
This is how we master our leverage by understanding, and then it goes to invitation, it goes to collaboration, it goes to
Yes.
many other things. When it comes to understanding our leverage, People think it's, for me, after talking to you for the last 1 hour, it brings a sense of consciousness, very peaceful. It's not like doom dumb. So how can we influence people in a right way uh, after articulating our leverage?
You don't need to worry about influencing people, right? All you have to do is keep sharing what your vision is, and the right people will come. If you care about something, chances are there are at least 1% in the world who care about the same thing. And you know how big that 1% is? It's 8 crore people in this world. Like, how much bigger do you want to build as a business, right? So don't worry about trying to influence or convince someone. You don't need to. That's not how I roll.
You just have a great vision and they'll be influenced by
See,
it on their
that's why
own.
we call it magnetic creators, right? We don't call persuasive creators. In fact, I was struggling between these two words. Like, should I name the company persuasive creators or magnetic creators? And I did a lot of to and fro with Guruji. And Guruji kept asking me questions. Okay, this, that. And eventually we realized that persuasive is completely against the way we are teaching things. We are not even teaching persuasion anymore. We are teaching how to be so magnetic that you don't need to persuade.
There goes influencers, you guys are dead.
And now you become magnetizers.
If you embodied all this, the feelings that Prathamesh just spoke about, there'll be a certain certainty that grounds you to this world, to the world, to your own vision. That is how he have taught me for the last 6, 7 months, maybe longer. I have no idea. But the journey feels like so far away because he have brought me to a place that I don't really remember how exactly I started. If I go back there, probably that's how exactly the journey that I will be talking about, to tell you how to even realize there is leverage.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So this is the whole arc of leverage, and I would like to talk about more about the other specifics of this whole art of collaboration before we even talk about what is collaboration is all about as an essence. I feel complete with this whole conversation. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. This was nice. I've wanted to talk about leverage for such a long time, and I'm so happy that you asked for it because leverage has been one of the most life-changing ideas in my life. I felt at peace when I finally understood leverage. I'm not sure how you felt when you finally understood it.
It was mind blowing because nobody taught me that. I did MBA. Nobody taught me in business the word leverage is one thing you need to understand and articulate for you to even become a person who can spread your idea out there. Because that word just blew my mind in sense of, oh my God, I need to understand this. This is the actual foundation. This is how we root ourselves to speak, to articulate what exactly we want. Like you just say, when I asked you to speak about the art of leverage, you said yes because it was very specific. And we can talk about art of asking in a separate podcast, but that leverage, that understanding about this whole concept that what is leverage and you are the leverage, the arc of leverage, and not the leverage that I thought when you first time told me. Like I also was like, oh, I don't have any qualification. Who's going to listen to me? I have that imposter syndrome, which you break down to say if you have imposter syndrome, call out your lineage. Tell people where you learn it. Just by being a learner, you can act. That is also an leverage. And that really broke down for me to able to start to say, yeah, I want to learn. I can use this. This is my leverage. And all my podcast has been that. I've never called it podcast. I've never named it. People have asked me. I say, that is not my leverage, naming it. I know I can name it, but no, that is not my leverage. I really want to have a conversation. By putting it in a container, I felt like I taking away the freedom. So it gave me a root. It really rooted me to say I can keep going back to refine my leverage, to understand myself better. And when I
Yes.
voice out my vision, and my vision can change, I have given the permission for it to be whatever, however shape it wants to take. And you have given me that art to say every single movement, every single thought is a leverage, and you can
Yes.
shape your art differently. I felt like I'm an artist. This is something I'm quoting from Naval Ravikant also. He say, if you want to be a creator, that means you're an artist. That's how you can create, because artists don't really have why it happens, how it happens, what people are going to tell. They just want to create. So
Yes.
that was leverage for me. That is what you have broken down in my point of view. When I heard the word leverage from the beginning and now, it's completely different.
Wow. Amazing. And it's a process to understand a concept which is as deep as this. It's an entire journey. That itself is a story by itself. Because see, you have to measure what is life. Life is a game of leverage. That's all it is. The only thing that you should measure by the end of the day is, did my leverage increase today or did it decrease? You just do that. Your leverage is a dashboard of everything that you have achieved in terms of not certifications, knowledge, or money, but reputation, gratitude, skills, achievements in terms of results, not like certificates, but results, real results, right? Right now, I feel massive leverage because see, we are having this conversation. We know each other. We are at the opposite ends of the earth having this conversation about something that both of us resonate on, which is leverage. What a massive leverage that is. Can you imagine? You have access to me, I have access to you, you have access to my entire network. Same, I have access to your entire network. So it's crazy. If the problem is we are blinded by the society who only looks at the visible leverage, which is what is the car you have, what is the house you have, what is the certificates you have, and the degrees you have. And trust me, right now, I have access to a forest, which is 5 minutes from my home. That leverage is so much more compared to any other leverage, I feel. You can't even pay and get that kind of connection with nature nowadays. That's leverage. I have knowledge of how to use nature to heal myself. Yesterday, I had a bad cold. I was not able to speak. Before I could not heal myself from my cold for months together. You know that. You have seen that part of my journey as well, where I used to have cold almost 3 months, 6 months of my life. And now I know how to heal myself faster. Within a day, I was completely okay. And now we are speaking. You can't even make out that I had cold yesterday. Exactly. So that's leverage, knowing how to heal myself. So again, decide what is leverage. And it's a process to learn what is leverage. Because when you know what leverage is, you will pay attention to it and you will protect it and you will develop it. Having a guru is a leverage. Having a mentor who will solve your problems is a leverage. Having people like us, like peers who can talk to each other, it's a leverage, right? You can be so vulnerable and I will not judge you. That's a leverage. Decide what your leverage. Like what you think of as a leverage is also as important as understanding leverage itself.
Yes, that is all about leverage in this world. In the world of Prathamesh Krisang, who have achieved quite a bit of things despite his age. It has nothing to do with money, car, or everything that the world out there is teaching us so far. It's already within us, and that is exactly what you have spoken about so far. So, ladies out there, if you want to join us in our Magnetic Creation Nation, if you have a great purpose, you have a great vision, reach out to Prathamesh. He's amazing. He will do anything and everything in his power to make your vision just right. And he has done that for me, and he has healed me by being that person. That is his leverage. He has instilled this leverage inside a lot of people. I can guarantee you that. I've seen it in my own eyes. And join us and talk about your vision, and we will all love to help you to be that one person who got your back. If you don't really understand what is leverage still, you can reach out to Prathamesh, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to listen from the place of non-judgmental. Prathamesh, if you have more to tell us, please.
Prema, I think anyone who wants to, like, I see how Prema cares about women and how much she cares about, everything that is happening right now, especially in the culture that Prema is in, which is United States. I see how you are seeing everything and getting troubled, and I keep getting, we keep talking about this. So get on this mission, be a part of this ecosystem. We really want to build something meaningful and sustainable. So we are looking forward to you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening to us.